All right. Welcome, everybody. We have our Taste of Success series with SuccessWorks at the College of Letters and Science, and my name is Maureen Muldoon. I am a career and internship specialist for health, environment, and research careers. And with us today, we have Tom Jacobs and Ron Snyder. And we're going to hear on the topic of sustainability and business. And Tom and Ron, I'm going to give you both a chance to talk for about 5 minutes, to share your academic background, your career path, your current work, how that relates broadly to the field of sustainability work and what that means. And for our students who are joining us, welcome. We want to make sure that you get plenty of time to ask questions, and you can unmute yourself and raise your hand if you have a question. You can type questions in the chat. We'll keep this fairly informal since we have a small group here today. So with that, we will go ahead and get started. So let's see. Ron, we'll start out with you. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about your career path and your work in the sustainability field.
Very good. Thanks, Maureen, and it's great to be here. My name is Ron Snyder. I'm currently in the Minneapolis area, and yes, I'm a graduate of the UW-Madison College of Letters and Science. My major was atmospheric sciences, so technically I'm a meteorologist. And my story is a little different because when I was in school, I was a pretty quiet, pretty technical person. And I got pulled, after graduation, I got pulled into the business side of things, kicking and screaming, and eventually became the CEO of the world's largest private weather company. And we did business in over 150 countries and have worked with the United Nations on a wide range of different sustainability-related and climate change-related topics. So it's been really interesting. Along the way, I've also had the privilege of being a federal employee. I've worked for 2 large major corporations and also a startup. Today, I'm a board member of a private equity group based in Switzerland. Just recently became a board member of a new publicly traded SPAC, Special Purpose Acquisition Company. You may have heard a lot about that, focused on ESG, environmental sustainability and governance. And I have my own consulting practice, and I still stay connected to weather through the American Meteorological Society, trying to connect private sector and academia. Before I turn it over to Tom, I just want to say there was probably 3 big things that I learned after I graduated. Number 1, UW-Madison has an amazing reputation. I had no idea. I would go all over the world and people knew Madtown and really held it in high esteem. So that really helped. And congratulations to the students today. You're in a good spot. Secondly, what I was sure I wanted to do when I graduated wasn't the case after I did it for a while. And it was only because I had a more broad set of classes that it allowed me to more easily make a lateral transfer into that, and ultimately were better for me. And then finally, I think my success, if you want to call it that, has a lot to do with just the willingness to be flexible and learn how to communicate and learn how to work with other people. Because at the end of the day, no matter what business venture you're in, you're working with other people, and that's really an important capability or skill to learn. So it's been a great run. Happy to be here today and really looking forward to taking your questions and seeing if there's any advice that will help you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. And Tom, if you'd like to go now as well.
Okay, I think I'm back on. Michael had muted my audio because of feedback. Hello, everybody. My name is Tom Jacobs. I live in Madison, Wisconsin. It's a great spot. I have a checkered past to share with you. Not as impressive as Ron's. I mean, that's a great background and the like, but just different pathways. I came to school here at UW in the 70s. Amidst protests, we had to cross um, uh, uh, National Guard lines to go to class during TA strikes and the like. So I have no penchant for authority. Somehow that has influenced me. But I graduated in School of Economics, then went to live in Europe for a little bit, and then came back and uh, worked worked for a little while in sales. But then I decided I'll go back to law school or go to law school. So I attended UW Law School and graduated there in the early 80s and practiced law, insurance defense litigation work. Basically did medical malpractice, products liability, just a number of different types of cases. But 4 years into it, I realized that I didn't want to be like my bosses and I wasn't really enjoying myself. So I went in-house counsel for a while and got more of a taste for business. And the place that I worked at was one of the largest insurers in Wisconsin, had an MBA program. So I went back to school at UW and got a degree, MBA, and uh, uh, pretty much a kind of a diversified major there because it was before they had a formal executive program. So I was basically trying to get into the mainstream and was able to pull it off. And then I went to work for a company where I was a minority partner and established a staff leasing company. And it was kind of a new thing for at least the state of Wisconsin. So it was an interesting type of thing to set up. But basically, we would take small companies and aggregate all the employees as one W-2 payroll base so that we could have Fortune 500 benefits for small companies. And it was something that was very interesting, pioneered, at least in this state. But I realized that if you're a minority owner of a company, it's kind of like indentured servitude. You have no real outcome in the course that a company can take. So I sold my minority interest in 2000 and started my own company called eFlex Group. We did third-party administration for flexible spending, pre-tax employee benefits, COBRA administration. It's kind of a unique type of industry to go into. And at that time, nobody was on the internet. So we basically took a business that was a typical mom and pop type regional boutique style business where your region of coverage was as far as you could drive to do employee meetings. And we developed the first internet-based online service delivery system. So we became a national company instantly. My first clients were California, Florida, New York. Basically, it was a disruptive technology, which is now commonplace, but we were in first, and it made us a national company right away. I grew the company up. I had about 150 employees, about half of those in Madison, but scattered around. And then I sold my company to a much larger company that was 10 times larger than me, and they absorbed me. So I've enjoyed kind of a retirement of sorts. I'm on the alumni board of advisors for the School of Economics and help with fundraising and the like. But interestingly, the company that bought me had this mentality of let's buy this company and then burn the house down, which didn't make a lot of sense for me. And my former clients, relationships that I've had for 25 years, were coming to me for help. So I set up another company in Alabama and kind of did a joint venture type of thing. And now, like Ron, I'm a consultant, so to speak. But I've learned that as a consultant, you have only so many hours in a day that you can bill out, because much like, as an attorney, but instead my model is on a recurring revenue stream. So I get $1.50 times however many participant or debit cards are out there for this TPA service, and the growth is like unlimited. It's all of a sudden I'm back working again, so to speak. But one of the things that I've learned in kind of this checkered past is I had one boss that I hated, but I learned so much from him, and he taught me that a great or good manager will most effectively be able to utilize the resources immediately available to him or her. And it's something, it's kind of a filter I run things through when I'm presented with problems, and you just look and see what have I got available to me and how can I deploy these resources to most effectively accomplish the objective. And I know there's other filters that I've learned along the way, but that was one of them. You know, there's no substitute for experience. And I would say this, like Ron, I had a number of different interests. I started out in oceanography. I like that area also, and I still do. But you know, and I keep that kind of passion and the like. But I would say, as you look at your careers, expose yourself to as many different things as you can. I'm blown away right now at how many past lives and past skills that I'm using right now, just because I went ahead and took a risk and experienced different things. And I'm using my law. You know, I'm still a practicing attorney. I've also set up a real estate company here in Madison, and we've got a number of properties, and got my family involved. So you know, we've got kind of that venture going, but it's just amazing to me, especially as you get into this type of consulting work that I'm in. It's a very highly specialized how to deploy pre-tax employee benefits in a co-employment environment. I mean, my kids think I'm a spy or something like that. They have no clue what I do. What's great is just to be able to take advantage of all your past experiences and expose yourself to as many as possible. I found for a while that I was changing my job every 4 years, and you know, and I'm happy that I did.
So
that's really all I have to say. Now I'm getting this weird.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of you really hit on what it means to be a liberal arts and science student. You know, and you graduate with one idea and you go out there and try things out, and at some point you realize this isn't what I thought it was going to be, or there's this other area that has grabbed my attention. And when we work with students and in introducing them to different career paths, this concept is something that we really look to our alumni to share and to explain, because you have lived it. And seeing where you are now and where you got started, you wouldn't have been able to predict this, right? It's just it's how things progress. To tie in this idea of sustainability. So I do career advising for students who have that environmental impact passion. They really want to make a difference, and they like the idea of the concepts of sustainability. And then how does that work when you get into different industries, different sectors, namely in business, right? And how, for both of you, how did this come to be part of your work, and what does that look like? And before you answer that, what does sustainability mean to you? Can you share with us what comes to mind when you hear that?
Well, I guess I'll jump in and give Tom a break. So for me, it's maybe a little easier and more straightforward, because my passion when I was in school and even today is I'm very interested in the weather. And there's this topic now that's being discussed called climate change. And it's something that I really started to understand firsthand the reliance that humanity has on the Earth's resources and being able to use them effectively. And then as in the case of weather, things are changing. They've been changing for a long time, but they're accelerating their change. How can we adapt? And in the business side of things, I became a speaker on this topic all over the world because it was important to, I think, get science-based information, accurate information out. And then secondly, I've worked a lot on the agricultural side of things because we have a looming food shortage on the horizon as the population of the earth increases. That's really something not many people talk too much about, but that's the driving force. There's too many people or more people. So we have to be thoughtful about how to use those resources. And in business, there are many, many different avenues that you can, even more of today than ever, where you can participate and do that in a meaningful way. And it doesn't have to be about mergers and acquisitions and traditional business. It can be about grassroots efforts where you speak out and study and participate in a variety of different activities that are available. And again, we can take more questions specifically on that. But for me, it was personal. It was relatively easy and straightforward. I'm not sure what Tom's experience was on this one, but hopefully that'll be a nice segue for you, Tom.
Michael has muted me again. Okay, I'm back. You know, from the aspect of sustainability, I can't say that that has been a major part of my career or career path. I've done one of the things I did when I set up one of my companies and expanded my major business was develop a property that was an office space, which made it as low of a carbon footprint as possible. And you know, just to kind of do my part, I feel what can I do to make my life and the lives of our staff the most, I guess, meaningful, and to help them reach out in the community through outreach, through cleaning of wetlands, and what sort of things can we get involved in that's a project that we can pick and go out and feel, you know, do something that is aimed at keeping our surroundings clean, eating well. Wellness was another big component of our business. I actually developed a product called health reimbursement arrangement that was targeted towards wellness. If you wanted to quit smoking, we would actually pay a benefit as an employer to that end. If you wanted to lose weight, we brought in weight loss, and I've had employees, you know, thank me for changing their lives because I incentivize them to make changes in their behavior, and they're, you know, are living a more healthy and active life. So it's as you grow and succeed, it's you carry the social responsibility with you in your own way, in your own businesses, whether it's attached to you know, a major sustainability type of enterprise or not. You still have the ability to make great choices. And now I've got I'm living in Madison, kind of semi-retired, but I've got 5 grandchildren, and you know, basically we're sailors. we try to enjoy the outdoors and you know, do so in a manner that isn't creating a large carbon footprint. So I don't know if that is even close to what you were looking for, but that's how it's affected or directed my life.
Can I say one more thing, Maureen?
Absolutely.
And this is towards the students. It is amazing what you can achieve. Now, it might not happen right away, and you may find yourself there in a roundabout way, but it is remarkable what you can achieve when you stay focused on this particular topic. I'll give you just a quick example. And I was very fortunate to be part of a project that just resulted earlier this week in a launch of a new company. It's called App Harvest. You may have heard of it. It has been a very, very big success. And it's in Kentucky. And it's the launch of multiple greenhouses that are huge. They're like 60 acres in size each. And they're growing hydroponic growth of tomatoes using only recycled rainwater and doing it without any chemicals. And they're achieving yields that are like 30 times more than you can outside because it's a controlled environment using technology. And so it's not just about more food in this case, but better food, and doing it with a fraction of the resources that are traditional. And again, this was a group of people that a few years ago had a vision, and they put it together, and the investment community got behind it, and it's amazing. And so every day there are things like this happening, and I'm always impressed by what passion and perseverance can bring.
I shared the link there so we could all take a look at that. So both of you, you touched on as you have developed and gone through your careers, it's like finding something that is personally fulfilling and satisfying, and that kind of starts and leads your way, and kind of gives you that momentum and that motivation. And then Tom, you mentioned like social responsibility, and how do those things fit together, right? And that gets at this idea of implementing sustainable practices and really evolving. Henry, do you have any follow-up questions, as it relates to thinking about these things, maybe a little bit more about App Harvest? We've got a lot of flexibility in our time, and I've got more questions I want to ask, but this is for you guys.